36-hour forecast from the National Weather Service. Extended forecast. Special regional information. The forecast for cities nationwide. Forecast. Your local radar showing any precipitation and its movement during the past 90 minutes. Intensity is indicated by the color code at the top of the screen. This is the Weather Channel. Weather you can always turn to for accurate, dependable weather forecasts 24 hours a day.
On this first day of December, we'll take a look back at some November weather highlights. Good evening, I'm Jill Brown.
And I'm Mike Bono. We'll also take a look at the first few days of December and the possibilities of some big snows. But first, cold air is moving across the Pacific Northwest. For folks in Seattle, Washington, it's been a chilly, cloudy day today. Heavy rains and strong winds yesterday gave way to a light rain and breezy conditions this morning. And there's still a chance for more shower activity today. And this evening, temperatures in the mid-40s will fall toward freezing tonight. There's also the possibility of some snow showers overnight, especially on the hilltops. And tomorrow could be a somewhat snowy day, even down at the Puget Sound level. Speaking of the Northwest, what a storm. Look at these totals as of late last night. Ocean shores on the coast, 6 inches. Tillamook, Oregon, 5. Just showing you what it can do in Washington and Oregon this time of the year. Getting back to normal after some drought years. And we often talk about the freezing level or the snow level. You know, for every 1,000 feet in elevation, the temperature generally drops 3 to 6 degrees Fahrenheit, depending on your temperature and your elevation. Well, this is the scenario that we're looking at. We had the freezing level way high up, at times early yesterday, even up around 9,000 feet in western Washington. It's been coming down now to about 3,500 or 4,000 feet in the Washington Cascades. Warm, moist air from the Pacific Ocean, but a cold front approaching from the north and west brings the freezing level down. The snow level now at Stampede Pass, it's snowing with the upper 20s, and they're at about 4,000 feet, so it's got to be down to about 3, and it'll be down close to the Puget Sound level by sometime tomorrow as that cold front moves through. Checking the western satellite picture, you can see the setup. Some lumpy clouds showing up over the waters. That means a lot of cold air aloft, low pressure spinning on down from the Alaska Panhandle. Annette, Alaska had almost a foot of snow today, and they usually get rain. So here it comes, starting to cool down in the Olympics and Cascades and on into the Shasta-Siskiyou region of California as the rain hits the Sacramento Valley, and the fog will be dispersing a little bit. Jill's going to cover that in just a minute. But rain in Boise, soon to turn to snow. It has been snowing around Sun Valley in Idaho and up to the Bitterroot Chain and Glacier Park in Montana. Less wind than yesterday. Less isobars means less wind, and some good news there because it's been bad. The rain in the Treasure Valley of Idaho and the snow in the higher elevations, and ditto that for Montana. But the cold is going to come from this direction, from Vancouver and western British Columbia. The rain turning into snow in the Cascades, down Olympia, down I-5, toward the Portland area, some precipitation still, and back on into the Sacramento Valley. Mostly rain, but that'll turn to snow around Lake Tahoe before too long. And the 1 foot totals will get on down to the California state line and on into the northern Rockies.
A dense fog advisory has been lifted for the northern San Joaquin Valley, but it could be reinstated tonight. This file video of Sacramento shows you what the common problem looks like and what conditions you might encounter in the next 24 hours. A blanket of fog has hovered over that area on and off for the past 2 days, and at this point it does not look like the winds will be strong enough to completely alleviate the threat of fog in the San Joaquin Valley for tomorrow. So looks like more of the same, slow for travelers. Let's just give you the setup exactly how this occurs. It's basically radiation fog. On a clear night with light winds, the heat escapes from the valley, and of course cold air is denser, so as the heat escapes, that cold air begins to sink down into the valley, and the cold air can't hold as much moisture, so you get condensation, you get the fog, and now that you have cool air on bottom and warm air on top, that's an inversion. That's a very stable atmosphere, so no mixing here, and because the sun angle is so low, it's not going to heat things up and help to mix things up, so basically you just have that fog just trapped in there, and sometimes it can last throughout the entire day. Last couple of days it's been lasting until noon. Let's take a quick look at a satellite picture here, and we'll show you. You can actually pick out the fog. You can see how it's just sitting there in the San Joaquin Valley, and it looks like we may see the same thing tomorrow. Fog can be treacherous to drive in, especially when visibility can sometimes drop to near zero within a few feet. Following these tips should help you to get around safely.
Clouds way up in the sky are pretty to watch and cause few problems to most people. It's when clouds lie right on the ground, fog, they become a problem. Fog develops when air cools and moisture condenses on certain particles in the air. As the air cools, driving the relative humidity up to 100%, then more moisture condenses and the fog thickens. If water droplets that make up fog are far and few between, visibility will only be impaired slightly. But when they become more numerous, it can be a travel nightmare. On the roadway, slow up. Don't overdrive your headlights. Keep your headlights on low beams. High beams only scatter the light even more. Dense fog is also a major problem for airline traffic. The visibility reduction requires fewer landings and takeoffs, and if the fog is thick enough, can close the airport. When fog socks in airports, expect delays. The best course of action is to take along a good book. Dennis Smith, The Weather Channel.
A memorable November just gone by in some parts of the country. A holiday snowstorm in Minneapolis and up toward Duluth where upwards of a foot of snow fell. Wisconsin too, and on into northwest Iowa. But not a trace or not a measurable amount of snow yet in Chicago or Cleveland, the latest ever. Some records around Newark, New Jersey. Hurricane Gordon, as evidenced by the warm weather in the east, got its feet wet and turned into a hurricane off the North Carolina coast. As you had record snows around Salt Lake City, back on into the Pacific Northwest, some much-needed precipitation. Medford, after 14 months below precipitation, finally had an above-average month. San Francisco, second wettest November on record. Santa Maria was the coldest on record. Minneapolis, the latest first snow, but you made up for that right around the Thanksgiving holiday. Apalachicola, 7 days of record highs, and Newark Airport, the warmest November on record. So look at it. East of the Mississippi, 6, 8, close to 10 degrees above normal. And the west, not so. It's a very chilly, early winter-like weather in the west. Kind of rainy in parts of Arizona and New Mexico, 3 times the normal. Around Springfield, Missouri, Tulsa, Oklahoma, kind of wet. But San Antonio, Houston, and even Washington, D.C. came in kind of dry. Now in December, the average is around freezing in the northern tier and some mild weather to the south. Let's take a look right now at our national map, and you'll see high pressure, which promises a chilly early morning in parts of the east. Already chilly, some 30s and 40s in this vicinity. It was up to 70 in North Platte, Nebraska. And we have a frost advisory in eastern parts of North Carolina for tonight. As we notice the national radar, just some showers in Florida.
All right, let's check our forecast, and those showers in Florida may persist tomorrow, but that front is scooting down into the Florida Straits, and as it does so, most of the rain is going to leave Florida and leave behind some nice conditions for tourists here and residents as well. As a matter of fact, most of the east enjoying nice weather. The one exception is here in Texas, starting to draw in enough moisture that we had a few showers today, and we think we'll see those expanding tomorrow, possibly getting you in Little Rock and Oklahoma City. But the big action is still here in the northwest, more snow, and as we've been telling you, those snow elevations beginning to drop. So we'll look for some snow in some of the big cities here. The next 24 hours, it's mainly a mountain event, but we do think that will be changing. Forecast is for cold temperatures again tonight. Look at these, 20s and 30s down to the Gulf Coast. A quick rebound takes you back to the 60s in most locations by tomorrow afternoon. And the setup is about the same. It's still going to be mild in the east and a little chilly out west. As a matter of fact, afternoon highs will be in the teens and 20s, and that cold air is beginning to expand over the weekend. At this point, we do not see that cold air really coming east full force. Looks like it's going to stay pretty mild through Monday. Can't complain about that. Alrighty, who gets the precipitation and what form will it come in? Well, down here we continue to see some of that moisture being drawn up from the Gulf, so we probably will see some rain, maybe not all day rain, but there's a pretty large area and it will be expanding, so chance of more clouds and a few showers for you. It looks like maybe south of Chicago down to Little Rock, Atlanta, chance of a little bit of rain perhaps on Sunday. But we'll be talking big snows again. Colorado, Utah, how about the Sierra? We've seen a lot of snow this year. Looks like we'll see a lot more. This is just the beginning. And as we even head into Monday, we see that same storm kind of winding its way out of California, but the Rockies will get more. We have seen so much snow, Mike, this season in the west. We'd like to share a little bit of that with the skiers in the east. That's right. Well, the snowmaking weather has been pretty good in the east, and as a matter of fact, we're going to cover that in our skiers forecast. That's right. They had a little bit of real snow last night. We'll see exactly how much they got at the resorts coming up next.
At Riders Jeans and Casual Wear, we studied hundreds, thousands of regular folks to learn their shapes and sizes. And then designed jeans that fit them very comfortably. Try on a pair. You'll find it's like we knew your size exactly, somehow. Riders Jeans and Casual Wear, cut to make real people look real good. Riders, available at these stores in your area.
Now, your local forecast, accurate and dependable from the Weather Channel. Current regional conditions. Special regional information. Your local 36-hour forecast from the National Weather Service. Long-range outlook. The regional forecast. The extended forecast. Your local radar showing any precipitation and its movement during the past 90 minutes. Intensity is indicated by the color code at the top of the screen.
How far do you have to go for great tasting water? As far as your faucet. The Brita water filtration pitcher has the special Brita filter that reduces chlorine, lead, the things nature never intended. And the taste? Wonderful. Brita. Tap into great taste. Available at Sears and Service Merchandise.
Get up-to-the-minute ski information from major resorts as well as conditions on slopes near you. The Skiers Forecast, hourly all season long on the Weather Channel.
In a study in the New England Journal of Medicine about colds, 87% of those studied also had sinus problems.
Sinus problems.
Tristan's multi-symptom formula relieves both cold and sinus symptoms. Tristan, cold relief clear down to your sinuses.
How does your Genie screwdriver door opener work?
Got this big screw, see? And it's real long, and the thing just turns like that, so the door slides real quiet.
Any mom with a lot of kids could use a Genie.
Genie screwdriver, built for a lifetime.
Okay, skiers in the east, we've had a little fresh snow in the past 24 hours. Not a lot, but a little. They picked up an inch at Killington, 2 inches at Loon Mountain.